Right.
And I can't help believing in my own mind. I know I'm gonna hate to see it end. I've seen a lot of sunshine, slept out in the rain, spent a night or two.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to We Are a Crotchety Old Man.
And a woman.
Wow, I have a little problem with that. Our audio issues continue. The podcast for you, with you, and sometimes even about you. Now, today, I felt like I was challenged last week when Abigail said, you know what, we really don't make this about people. And as Jerome would say, it's actually about Arden the whole time. So we actually are going to start off a little bit different and say, you know what, we are going to make it a little bit about our fans. So I actually reached out to a few of them.
Really?
Yeah, I reached out to a few of them because we have not been responding to any emails. We were responding them by email, but we're not been doing it on the air. So we want to know more about our fans. So did you know we actually had our best 1 week performance ever?
Really?
Yeah. I'm not going to go into our numbers, but we actually had, I think it was like a 20% boost last week. Man, that Star Wars thing.
And given that you talked the whole time, what does that really mean about me?
It means you are the greatest of all time, but it also means that Star Wars, people like Star Wars, but there's no Star Wars this week. Dun, dun, dun. But do you know what it is?
No.
It is Daniel's 54th birthday. Some of you may remember Daniel from episode 2, where he was crotchety talking about mostly food.
And shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation, and it was a fiasco. I kind of made him feel bad. He said he would never be on our show again. So it is his birthday. I've known Daniel since I was 3 years old. Is that amazing?
That is amazing.
So I met him, and he lives 4 houses away from my mom. And for his birthday, my mom made him his favorite Chex Mix, and she made it her way, not the way that you buy it. And she dropped it off. Now, my mom is 87 years old, going on 87 years old. And she walked down to his house, put it in a bowl, in a box, and she kind of did one of those where you ring the bell and then you dash. So I can just picture her with her little cane, like ringing the doorbell and, well, not really running, but kind of getting there. So happy birthday, Daniel. And like I said, Jerome, reach out to me. Jennifer from Ashland, reach out to our fans in Britain, England.
Yeah.
They keep coming and from different locations. So we've had another fan there. We had our person from Australia. We got listeners from South America. Haven't gotten Asia yet, and we haven't gotten Africa, but we're getting bigger. So anyway, let's get to it here. Guess what today is in National Food Day?
What, Arden?
Eat What You Want Day. So, Abigail, hypothetically, if your favorite food was the healthiest food on the planet, okay, so you can eat any of it as much as you want, what is your favorite food or foods?
Okay, so it's not necessarily food that I generally like. It's basically got to be something that's really bad for you.
No, if you really like it. I mean, if you love blueberries, say blueberries, and they're super healthy.
Well, I take this question as a challenge to basically put out there the worst thing you can eat.
Oh, would that be like a fluff sandwich?
No.
Okay.
I go through phases, as you know, Arden, with food. I get addicted to things and I stick with it for a while. So, number 1 on my list right now are the Aussie rolls from Sweetwater Tavern Restaurant. And they come with this amazing honey butter. And they're only $2 for 4 rolls. And I usually get 8 rolls total.
Oh wow, are they big, small? Like how? Like are they the size of like a? I mean, like
They're bigger than a donut hole.
okay, so
Maybe
they're
2 donut holes.
okay, so about the size of a munchkin or a donut hole.
Right.
Okay,
But
so they are tiny.
yeah.
So it's not like you're eating all
And
these giant rolls.
they're doughy, and but what makes it is the honey butter.
Nice.
Then the other one I've been on a big kick with is the Haagen-Dazs chocolate Godiva.
Is it ice cream? Is it?
Of course it is.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I got a little
I
confused when you
think
said Godiva.
I think that Haagen-Dazs is all ice cream, to my knowledge. Maybe milkshakes, but anyways, it's the one with the chocolate chips in it, and it is fantastic. It's about 1,200 calories for a pint,
Okay.
and I'll admit, I eat them 1 pint at a time.
Nice. Daniel probably would eat 2, so I wouldn't feel, or knowing him, 5.
All right, how about you? How about you? You're up.
You know what? I thought about this question, and I had one of my favorite foods for lunch today. So I would say pizza, just a simple cheese pizza, number 1. Number 2, Boston cream donuts from Dunkin' Donuts.
Ooh, see, I went through that phase.
Yeah. So, and after our donut challenge, where we had the one from Randy's and everything way back when, yeah, but I love the Dunkin' Donuts. And the third one would be the Doritos nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese, huh?
Nacho cheese, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Doritos, but when I tried the Cool Ranch,
Yeah, the one in the blue bag,
yeah,
always
they're
a favorite.
pretty good. They're pretty good.
The problem, and here's a fat guy move, I'll eat an entire bag, family size bag of Doritos, and then I feel ill and I go, why the hell did I eat so many of those? But I learned that they are scientifically created
To be addicted.
to be addictive. They hit on every one of your senses as far as smell and every one of your taste buds. So they are meant to be addictive. So I'm blaming Frito-Lay for getting me hooked on those things. Anyway,
I think the government should look into that.
dun dun dun. Yes, they should.
I mean, there's, other important matters in this world, but maybe they should look at that.
Addictive food. Well, yeah. Or I could just stop eating them now and never buy them again. Then I won't have to worry about that.
But
Personal
the
choice.
government must control you, Arden.
Yeah, yes, the government controls me on everything else I'm allowed to do.
Exactly.
Take my bad food away, but they probably make a ton of money on it. Yeah, I'm coming up with conspiracy theories. I have to work on that one. So, this day in history, not much as compared to last week where I went bonkers.
It was a little bit of an overkill.
I could actually report, I will not mention who emailed me this, but it did say, Arden, please shut up. So, Jerome. Anyway, so I'm only going with 3 things today. As last week, what did I have? Like 30 different things.
Mhm.
So only 3 things, and a lot did happen. A lot of people died. A lot of people were born. I'm not going to bore you with all that. But 1934, the first of the great droughts that caused the Great Dust Bowl.
The Great Dust Bowl?
The Great Dust Bowl.
You sure it's not today in your apartment?
No, that's the Great Mess Bowl. Or the Great, my apartment is disgusting. I have taken all of my pictures down and there's dust everywhere. And yeah, it's gross.
A good girlfriend would actually dust for him, but I'm not.
Yeah, in fact, she's actually getting kind of lazy. She's just sitting there eating her little, I was about to call them donut holes, her little Aussie rolls, and I'm slaving away. No, we're just having fun. Second one. Now, this one is fascinating. Have you ever heard of the island of Attu or Addo?
No.
It's one of the islands in the Aleutian Islands off of Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't know this, that the Japanese were able to occupy it. So the Japanese actually took one of the islands off the coast of Alaska in 1942. And in this day, in 1943, the United States actually was able to recapture that island. You hear mostly the other famous one, like Wake Island. or Bataan, things along those lines. But you never hear of the Alaska Islands. So that was very important because if they had taken Alaska, which you don't think of the Japanese taking Alaska, it could have really affected, how we would have had to fight the war that way. And finally, in 1997, this was huge back in that year. Now most people could care less. The IBM chess computer beat Gary Kasparov, 2 wins and 3 draws in a chess match. So you had the Big Blue, the IBM computer, was able to beat a human chess master.
Wow.
Yes, we've come, and now we have AI that probably would. Now, I suck at chess. I still call the knight the horsey thing. So I would lose to probably my old Atari playing me at chess. So that's what I have. What do you got for sports?
Oh, well, your Rangers are on fire. Well, actually, let's really assess it. The last couple games, they didn't deserve to win. It went into OT, and they got pretty lucky. However, the goal from 2 nights ago to win the game was pretty awesome. I went on YouTube to watch the repeat.
The Rangers are scaring the bejesus out of me. It reminds me of the last time they went to the Stanley Cup, where they just depend on their goalie to be Superman, and then it sucks. But they keep winning. But you can't keep playing this way, or else eventually you'll lose.
Okay. Well, how are your Yankees doing?
Yankees are doing very well. The Soto Judge combination are starting to smack the ball. Judge is almost hitting his weight at this point. Now, remember, he is 6'8", so he weighs a lot more than 240 pounds. So once he starts batting his weight and Soto keeps smacking it, they're going to keep winning and hopefully beat the. I guess, are the Orioles local for us, or would you just say DC?
DC.
Okay, so the Nationals. So those stupid birds up there in Baltimore. Hopefully they can knock them out off their perch. Look at me making bird references.
Okay, well, I as you know, like Caitlin Clark, and I had gone online to see about getting tickets. I may have mentioned this last week. And that's a no-go. But I did watch the final preseason game the other night, and overall she didn't do that great, but they ended up winning when they were 20 down in the first half. But that's not my point here. My point is that apparently the Indiana Pacers,
Okay, Indiana Pacers.
they draw a low end of an attendance usually for the NBA at 16,000 fans.
Okay.
But for this preseason game for the WNBA, most people knew nothing about, she brought in 13,000 fans, and that's for a preseason game.
Which, I mean, for preseason for the NBA wouldn't be that bad either.
Right, and so I did look into Capital One, and that is sold out, and that whole arena holds over 20,000 people.
She is a phenomenon. I do not know another female basketball player, except for who was the lady who was in Russia?
The UConn girl.
No, I couldn't tell you.
Really?
Couldn't tell you. Yeah, so I mean, it's
Brittany from, I don't remember.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Yes, who goes, but her name is only for being infamous. Couldn't tell you where she plays or anything like that.
Right.
Now I think you should do what I said last year for the UFL. Well, back then the XFL. If Caitlin Clark wins like the Rookie of the Year, you should buy her a jersey.
I don't think so, Arden.
Really? Maybe I'll buy you a jersey for Christmas.
A T-shirt will do.
All right, I'll buy you a T-shirt, but she has to win Rookie of the Year.
Well, I don't really have much else on sports.
Well, we are actually, while we're doing the podcast, we have the UFL on right now, where the Battlehawks are playing the undefeated Birmingham Stallions. I know most of our fans are not really fans of the UFL, but one of the fascinating things is actually their the instant replay. Do you know what they do for their instant replay? It's really cool for the fans.
I'm not sure.
So what they do is, if you're live, how many times like have you gone to an event and you have no clue what they're doing, what's going on? Well, what they do for this is they actually put the instant replay guy who's in the booth, they put him on the Jumbotron and they play what he's saying. So you're listening to all of the calls, what's going on in the replay booth. So the fans actually who are in attendance know what's going on. And I think that's phenomenal because I think it's great. They're really trying to make it have the fans engaged more. But the attendance is still getting up there. It's kind of like our podcast. You know, we're trying to get up there in fans, and so is the UFL.
Okay, Arden.
Well, anyway, hold on. I'm putting on my glasses here because I can't read my own handwriting without my glasses. So I had 3 questions for you.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Here we go. So, well, first, this is not a question, but I did realize it's tomorrow's Mother's Day, right?
Yes, Arden.
Okay. So I wanted to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Abigail, you have 2 dogs, so happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I don't know.
Especially your own.
Okay. Especially my mom. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. But here's the first question I had for you. Number 1, have you seen this thing with the Aurora Borealis that's going on?
Briefly.
Okay.
I saw it in a headline.
So according to this, it's a geomagnetic storm.
Mm-hmm.
And on a scale of 1 to 5, they're saying it's a 5. And of course, they have some people who are just like, and I know nothing about what a geomagnetic storm does, but according to it, like the time it takes light to go from the sun to the earth is actually 8 minutes. So traveling at the speed of light would take 8 minutes. This is actually going a lot slower, and that's why you're able to see it. So people in Europe, people in Tennessee saw it last night. We might actually look outside, and if it's not cloudy, maybe we could see it down here in Virginia.
Maybe.
But so the question kind of is, would you want to go outside and take a look at this after the podcast if it's out there?
Sure.
Okay. Next question. Now, this is something I don't know diddly squat about either one of these things. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to people on the news. You're familiar with the Met Gala, sort of?
Well, I am because it was in the news this week.
Okay. All I know is it costs $75,000 a ticket, more than the average American makes, just to go to this one event. I don't even know what the event really does, but they're comparing it to the Hunger Games. I never saw the Hunger Games. I've never read the books. I know you've read the books. I didn't know if you saw the movie. And I was wondering if you actually could make that comparison of what people are in the news are talking about.
First of all, I've never read a book.
Oh, you never read the book? I'm sorry.
No, a book. Anyway, I did see the movie. And yeah, I mean, it's similar. I mean, the controversy with the Met Gala, besides $75,000 a ticket, were with the protesters. And in the Hunger Games, they weren't protesters. They just were the non-elites. But they were suppressed by the wealthiest people in the country. And I believe the government was called the Capitol.
Oh, just the Capitol?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of Pagan, I think it was. But it was at the Capitol that all the rich people lived and basically starved all the other regions.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're saying that these people who are going to them. Now, what about like the dress? Like I only know like remember AOC was walking around with the dress from a couple years ago that said like tax the rich. Well, I wonder if that means taxing herself. But like, didn't they do that in the
Don't get me started.
Well, didn't they do that in the Hunger Games as well? Like, didn't they have like weird outfits?
Yes, they did.
Okay, because I saw like one lady looked like she was wearing like a beehive, a beekeeper.
They did have interesting costumes.
Okay, and now this question was brought to me by Mr. Fun, and so he actually wanted me to ask you this question and let you talk as long as you want and to be completely quiet and not say a word and he said you have to be completely unfiltered.
No pressure, huh?
Okay. What is your opinion on the Boy Scouts changing their name to the Scouts or Scouting America, whatever the hell their name is?
Okay.
And now I'll be quiet.
I can honestly say to our listeners that he did not tell me that this would be the question, but I did listen to him about it this morning on the news. It is yet another case of everyone in this country losing their mind. The Boy Scouts are the Boy Scouts. They're for boys. They do boy things. The Girl Scouts are for girls. They do girl things. Now, there can be crossover in activities. Don't get me wrong. But to say that you're not going to call the Boy Scouts anymore, just so you have what? I mean, what is it about, Arden? Who do they want to bring in?
Well, they want girls to join, and they also would like the transgender people and the people who do not identify as either gender.
Okay,
real
we're
quick,
talking
though,
about, yeah.
before I say, the Girl Scouts have already said they will not either merge or change their name. And personally, I think that's for money purposes. Those Girl Scout cookies bring a lot of money.
Yeah,
Okay,
and Dan Schneider said the Washington Redskins would never lose the Redskins name. But guess what? They did. So let's take a step back here. We're talking about boys, little boys. And when you're going to bring in whatever you want to call them, you talk about the molestation crisis in the Boy Scouts, it's only going to skyrocket.
Yeah.
And if you got girls in there, this is just,
Those overnight trips become a little more interesting.
it's just unconscionable.
So-
And, you know, it just makes, I'm scratching my head right now, literally, because I don't understand why this country is going in the direction it's going.
Because there's a lot of people who think differently. Now, where I don't understand is how come the Girl Scouts don't have this problem at all? Like, you don't hear about boys wanting to join the Girl Scouts. You don't hear about the transgender, LGTB, alphabet people. You never hear about them saying, we want to join the Girl Scouts.
Well, it's going to start now.
I don't know. I think
it will.
I mean, have you seen the prices of cookies on Girl Scouts?
No.
I mean, they're like $8 a box, $9 a box.
Well, I told you can get them at Costco. I told you that last
I'm
week.
never buying any of that stuff again. I will not support either. But
There
like,
you go.
But like, you look back at like all the Eagle Scouts who became president or became astronauts, and now like it's a joke. It's like I was a Cub Scout, and in high school, I was one of those guys who were like, dude, I'm not going to be a Boy Scout. Like, seriously, I'm already a nerd. I'm not going to like be that way. Now, oh my dear, actually, it probably will be the exact opposite nowadays.
Well, I was a brownie.
You were a brownie.
And one of my mother's last concerns to my father was that she wanted me to be a Girl Scout.
Oh.
So I begrudgingly became a Girl Scout. And another story for another day, but I got kicked out.
Ooh, I like that. So that's okay. So that was the big question I had to ask you today.
I mean, if you'd prepared me even more,
nope.
I mean, I would have really had, I'm sure, a more visceral reaction. But the bottom line is, it's just crazy. The Boy Scouts are the Boy Scouts.
So you supposedly have some questions for me that I don't know anything. Turnabout is fair play.
I just got some topics to talk about that's like in the news and get your feedback. So,
okay.
A lot of people relocate in this country because they don't want to pay high taxes in the state they're living in.
Okay.
So, can you guess the top two that people have been migrating to over the last
migrating
decade?
to?
Yes.
Okay. Florida used to be number one, but they might not be anymore. I would say North or South Carolina, and then maybe.
No, I said who.
Who?
Where have people been migrating to over the last 2 to 3 decades?
Oh, well, Florida.
Yes.
Number one. And then I'll say Tennessee.
No, it was Texas.
Okay. Oh,
But now we're going to talk about where people are going to.
Okay.
And you got the one with Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee's big.
But the Florida and Texas problem is they were too successful. So the housing prices have gone up.
Mm-hmm.
And in Florida, insurance has gone up 23% in 1 year for insurance on your property.
Yep.
And of course, they're blaming it all on climate change.
Oh, yeah. Seriously?
Right. So the other state is North Carolina that
Right.
people are going to. So it's North Carolina and Tennessee. And Arden, I know you don't like financial stuff, but which state does not have income tax?
Wait, North Carolina.
No.
Texas.
I'm so disappointed in
There's
you.
so many. Well, Florida
No.
doesn't. I mean,
Florida and Texas and Tennessee do not have
Right.
state income
I
tax.
think South Carolina.
But North Carolina does.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
I knew Texas didn't.
You
But,
only had to pick 1 out of 2 and you got it wrong.
Hey, I got 0%. Quick story, my sister who lives in Florida actually was like she would call and tell, say, another orange field has been removed for more houses.
Oh, okay.
And the price of houses there are now as expensive as where we are in Northern Virginia. It's insane. Like they're selling for like $600,000, $700,000, and they're not huge either. But so good investment if you bought a house 10 years ago in Florida.
Yeah, certainly. Well, you did okay, I guess, on that one.
A lot better than my cars.
Well, I brought up another car in question.
Crap.
So, there are some car makers or car brands that are more likely to break down and be worthless than other car brands.
Okay.
I have a list of 12.
12.
Can you try to pick 3?
Are they current or can I go with like the Yugo, which was like the worst ever, or the Pinto?
Or how about the Pacer?
Or the Pacer. I actually had a Mercury Bobcat. Which was like you actually when you hit the brake, and Daniel remembers these, and I think Alfred he was scared to death. You would hear the gas in the gas tank slosh. It was like whoosh, whoosh. You would actually hear it. But okay.
Okay, no, these are current cars.
All right. Okay. So the worst quality car. Now I don't think it's on the list, but my Hyundai sucks. So I will say the Hyundai because mine was horrible. How many recalls
All
it
right,
had?
take a mulligan on that one.
Okay, mulligan. I'm not going to say Toyota. I'll say Ford.
Yes.
Okay,
and
that should be an easy one.
I don't want to insult anyone that owns a Ford, but in my history with them, it never worked out.
Okay.
So that's one.
That's one. I'll say for time purposes, I'm just going to start guessing here. I'll go Audi.
That's on the list, but that's the last number 12.
It's on the list. I'll take it.
Yes, that's
I'll take
2.
it. And I'm trying to think of another American car off the top of my head. GM.
It is indeed.
Nice.
But a couple shockers for me is that Mercedes-Benz is on the list.
Oh wow!
You would think for the money you pay for those cars.
Are they being made in the U.S.?
I don't know.
Maybe that's why.
But the number 1 loser, and I believe it, is Chrysler.
But I had a Chrysler New Yorker. I
had a Chrysler New Yorker 5th Avenue.
Ooh, Miss Hoity-toity. Mine was used. The catalytic converter went, and it was awful. It was the worst car I ever had. But it was brown. It was ugly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I only have one more comment to make.
I'm ready.
There's a special coming up for Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
It's their 50th anniversary. But guess what? It's going to be on prime time on a Sunday.
Why?
Explain that to me, Arden.
When is it?
It's going to be prime time, which means around 8 p.m. on a Sunday.
Do you know roughly when?
I think it's upcoming, but the point is it's Saturday Night Live.
On a Sunday.
On a Sunday, and usually Saturday Night Live's on at like 11:30, isn't it?
Yeah, because they have. Well, you know what? They might run into problems if they try to get a little too risque because there's certain times where you're allowed to say certain words. It's like 10 o'clock, you're allowed to say like shit. After 10, you're allowed to say it. Before 10, you're not allowed to say it. It might offend little children. So they might have to be
Well,
careful
I
with
don't
that.
disagree with that.
Oh, I don't disagree with it, but in Saturday Night Live, they could actually do it. But do you remember the show Fridays? It was only around for like one season. And Kramer from Seinfeld was actually on it at the beginning. If you ever want to watch a really funny show, I'm assuming it's on YouTube. Watch Fridays, and it went head to head, obviously, with that. But the reason I asked about the time, like if it was in like August or July, to me it might make sense because of the everything's in reruns. So like maybe looking for something, but I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in decades. Every once in a while, someone will send me a YouTube of something that happened. Like when Donald Trump was on it, that was pretty funny. But speaking of comedy, did you see supposedly it's really big. I haven't seen it at all with the Tom Brady roast, and I actually read right before we got on the air an article. I haven't finished reading it. That people are saying that it hopefully will trigger going back to the old comedy where you can actually make fun of people and stop being woke.
Yeah, I think so. I saw a few clips of it. It was pretty funny.
So I'm gonna have to watch that.
And a bit shocking because, like you said, we've been it's not desensitized, but what's the word?
Yeah, we've been traumatized.
Yeah, traumatized.
Like
you can't do anything anymore.
Or if you now hear something on TV, like okay, one real fast. In England, you know how they call cigarettes fags?
Yes.
So like I was watching a British broadcasting TV show, and the guy said, "Can you give me a fag?" And I literally was like, "Oh my god!" They said, "Oh my god!" Like, what the hell has happened to? Like, I mean, we're products of the '70s.
Well, it's about time to wrap it up. So give your spiel.
Okay, so thank you for joining us. You feel free to reach out to us at wearecrotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. We are crotchetyoldmen@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us at crotchety old men on Twitter. That's at crotchetyoldmen.com. At crotchetyoldmen on Twitter. We're growing, as we saw. So if you like what we're doing, please share it with others and demand people listen to it. Play it in front of others just because. Play it twice. It counts as 2 downloads. And build. Thank you. And try not to be crotchety out there.
I've been lately thinking about my life's time, all the things I've done and how it's been. And I can't help believing